Now, why do we need to heal? Why do we need to recover? Is it important for us to heal? And I'm just going to throw in a few scenarios to make you understand how important healing is, And there I will give harsh words just in attempt to make you understand how important healing is. I think many people underestimate the process of healing and how important the process is. You know, think of it this way. If you don't heal from something, if you don't recover from something, you're going to experience the pain of that particular thing for the rest of your life. So it means that you are setting yourself up for experiencing pain every single day of your life because you didn't give yourself time to heal from this particular problem or from this particular wound or whatever is happening in your life. Now, when you get a wound, whether let's say on your leg, you get an injury, you need to give yourself time to recover before you can start functioning, on a high level again. So you need to give yourself time to recover before you can start working out again, before you can start jogging if you like jogging, before you can start doing things again, before you can function normally again. If you don't do that, what's going to happen? You're going to injure yourself even more. You're going to hurt yourself even more. So you can't take your leg that is injured, that is wounded, and get into running, get into exercising hard or doing, hard, activities without taking the time to recover. You're not going to do justice on your leg. You're only going to hurt yourself even more. And the interesting thing is, so many people do that when it comes to their mind. So many people do that when it comes to their brain, right? They go into a very harsh event that, hurts them. And then what happens is they just move on without taking the time to recover. And that is very dangerous because now what you are doing is you're going to dwell in the pain. You're going to live with this pain because you never healed from it. Whatever pain you don't heal from, whatever wound or injury you don't heal from, you're going to live in it. You're going to dwell in it. It's going to become part of your life. And I'm going to show you as we continue how dangerous that thing is. What happens when you don't really heal. So we need to take the time to heal. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to heal. The other part is this. The importance of healing is that you can't progress in your life if you don't take the time to heal, right? You can't progress in your life if you don't take the time to heal. Because now emotionally, you'll continuously go back. You'll be drawn back because you did not take the time to heal. Now, finding progress in that particular area where you need healing is going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult because you didn't take the time to heal. Now, many people don't progress in their lives, in their relationships, in their marriages, in whatever they're doing because there's unresolved, traumas, there are unresolved issues, and they never took the time to heal. Listen, as a person, you will experience pain in your life. You're a human being, right? But it's not okay to dwell in the pain. It's not okay to carry the pain for the rest of your life. It's not okay. And I've seen so many people have made it okay to carry the pain for the rest of their lives. I mean, why? Why do you want to live a life like that? Why do you want to always be in pain? Yes, you will have many painful events, but do you really need to dwell in the pain and carry the pain every single day of your life? What type of decisions are you going to make if if you are always dwelling in the pain? What type of relationships are you going to build? What are you going to do? The things that you do on a daily basis. Will you effectively make the right decisions, perform well at work, perform well in your life when you dwell in pain? I don't think that's the case. If you don't heal, you actually go backwards. You go backwards. You don't go forward. And it's easy to hide behind other things. You know, people that need healing and they don't accept that they need healing. In most cases, what they do is they focus on other things like substance abuse, partying all the time. They focus on other things and they want to hide their pain behind those things. You know, addiction, social media, pretending to be something or someone they are not. When you don't accept that you need healing, you do so many things to hide your pain, things that really might be destroying your life even more. And I want to really ask you a question. Is Are you avoiding situations in your life that you need to heal from? Do you really feel uncomfortable maybe to face these things and say, you know what, I've been hurt and I need healing in this area in my life? Have you been avoiding that process of healing? Now you're hiding your pain behind other things? Let me go deeper. I know it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but I think it's very, very important that attempt to do this. Let me go deeper. Why do you find yourself being distracted on a daily basis? As an individual, why do you think you are always distracted? You can't focus. You can't start something and finish it. Why do you think that you can't prioritize when you're supposed to, focus on the right things that you need in this particular season? You are always doing other things. Why do you think when it's time maybe to focus on deep development and focusing on studying, you would rather party with your friends? Because you know what happens? Pain hides in little things. What is really happening? What are you running away from? Why can't you focus on that which truly matters? What is disturbing you? Do you perhaps have unresolved issues in your life? Do you have areas in your life where you need to heal? Now, instead of facing these particular areas, you run away from them. You'd rather do something else because it does really make you feel uncomfortable. Now, as I go in the depth of this, I remember in one of the gentlemen's club that we have in terms of training and development, you know, uh, for like almost a year, there was no gentleman or any young man who said, "In my life, I've been abused. In my life, I've been molested." None of them for a whole year. And we usually take people into support group for like a year, sometimes 2 years, and in the process, and we were at the finishing line, so it was almost a year, and we were about to say, you know what, thank you for the support group, guys, you've done well in this. And one guy said, I think it's time for me to be honest. As a young man, I was molested, and I don't know how to talk about this pain. I don't know how to 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 talk to you about this, but it has been bothering me, and this is the one thing that has been emotionally keeping me back. Would you believe me if I said majority of men in that space raised up their hand and said, I had the same experience, and it's something that I could not talk about. But seeing someone else talk about it gave me the confidence to say, you know what, maybe I need to talk about it in order for me to heal. So you see what I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to show you, if you avoid dealing with your pain, if you avoid dealing with your traumas, nothing's going to change for you emotionally. And I know that it might be a very difficult thing to do, but it's very necessary to do. And I would like to start here. I'm sorry for everything that you've been through. I know some of the things you could not control. Maybe people took advantage of you. Maybe you made some terrible mistakes yourself. Maybe you saw some harsh reality. Maybe things didn't work out the way you wanted them to work out. I want to say to you that I'm really sorry that you had to go through such. Or maybe you're going through it now, and I'm saying, I'm sorry. But in order for you to be able to heal, or in order for you to be able to move forward in life and to progress in life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, you have to start going into a journey of healing. All right? So, as we start there, I'm really sorry that you have been through what you've been through. But it's time for you to gracefully redefine your life and make your life what you want it to be like. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about traumas, I said I'm going to attempt to make it as understandable as possible. Now, here you are, you have the brain, right? Now, your brain learns through information, and this information can be through speaking, so hearing, right? Can be through any of your five senses. You can sense, you can smell something, right? You can see something, right? So once you use your senses, you receive this information, and this information is processed by your brain. Now, in the process of you growing up as an individual, what happens is that you're going to process so much information. And in this process, you're going to process unpleasant information. What I mean by this is that in your life, you're going to experience very bad circumstances or events, right? You're going to experience so let me put it like this, terrible events. You're going to experience terrible events, right? And these terrible events, in most cases, are what causes our traumas. Now, when we talk about traumas, we are talking about a bad memory of an event that is really affecting you negatively, right? So you have a bad memory of an event, something that happened, right? And this, memory is affecting your life negatively. So what I mean by this is maybe you've seen an accident, you've lost a loved one, right? Maybe you've made a very terrible mistake. What I don't know specifically what you are exposed to or growing up, what were you exposed to? But when we speak of, uh, um, traumas, we speak of very bad events that happened, and now these events are stored as memories in our subconscious mind, right? You see something that is really bad, somebody hurting somebody, or anything bad that is happening, and now you take that in as a memory, and it's being stored up in your subconscious mind. And what happens is, because this event was so disturbing for you, right? Now you store this memory, and on daily basis, this memory is tormenting you. Every time you get flashbacks, you think about this thing, and it's really frustrating you, making you feel uncomfortable, and is really, tormenting you as an individual. That's what traumas are, right? They are bad memories that we've stored in our subconscious mind because of bad events that happened in our lives. Now, I want you to understand this. The reason why I don't want to really define a bad event for you is because we are different as individuals, right? I've really seen people go through the same circumstance, and for the other one, it becomes a traumatic experience, and for the other one, it does not. So we are different individuals. However, the most important thing is we cannot downplay, right, the pain of any individual. We cannot play that. Even yourself, do not underestimate the fact that you feel pain because of a particular event. You need to take that into serious consideration to say, you know what, this thing has hurt me, and now I need to deal with this thing. I need to deal with this pain. So I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you're going through. But when we talk about traumas, we talk about memories, bad memories that come from unpleasant events in your life. And the first thing I want you to do today is Can you boldly take a step to make a list of events in your life that were really unpleasant and you believe they have changed your life? Can you please make a comprehensive list, in your own time, at your own space, just to sit down and reflect over your life to say, I need to look at my life and I need to see what is affecting my life today. Now you make a list of all the events of the past, of the present that you believe are negatively affecting you today. So what I'm saying is that what have you been through and how is that even affecting you today? So we cannot go into a journey of healing until we first identify what we need to heal from, right? Hence, I'm asking you to first make a list of all the events that has impacted you so negatively, that has changed your life, and you know that you need healing from. And in this journey of making this list, can I also kindly ask you, be honest with yourself. Do not avoid your pain. Do not run away from your pain. Be honest with yourself to say, yep, yep, this one definitely did hurt me. So just take some, 10 seconds and just think about it. What happened in your life? What are some of the events that really could have changed your life as an individual in a very negative way? And do not downplay the impact of those situations or of those events today in your life. Because one thing that I've realized that people don't understand is that whether we like it or not, our past does affect us today in the present time. However, we only have control on how we allow our past to affect us. So you can only decide and make a choice to say, I'm not going to allow my past to affect me negatively, but rather to affect me positively. Or you can allow your past to affect you negatively. That is the only control that you have. But you can't take away the fact that your past is currently, at this very moment, affecting the person that you are. It's affecting your thoughts. It's affecting your perspective as a person in life. It's affecting everything about you. Right? But the question is, how is it affecting you? Right? And you can only control that. I'm going to allow my past to affect me in a positive way. That doesn't mean that my past was perfect. For some of us, our past has been very bad. But from those bad experiences, I'm going to learn what I need to learn, and I'm going to develop and build the life that I need to build for myself. Right? So when we speak of traumas, we speak of those memories that are in your subconscious mind that come from unpleasant events. And now those memories that are in your subconscious mind are affecting you today. So they affect your decisions, they affect your emotions, they affect your behaviors, and sometimes they actually affect your belief system. Let me make it a practical example. I remember I was invited into an interview where we were talking about, there were two women, and one woman was saying, what, men are trash. That's how it is. That's how I see it. And the other lady was saying, nope, not all men are trash. And Ali said to me, but what do you say about this? And I said, both of these people are actually telling you their realities. This one lady is telling you that men are trash, and that's the perspective that she has. And you cannot take that away from her because that's what she has experienced as a person. She's experienced the man as abusive. She's experienced man as, people that don't care. And that are her experiences, and that makes up her reality and that perspective in her life. So now you want to tell her that men are good, yet she's never had that experience. I said, you can't change her perspective until you accept her reality. And then I said, the other one, we said, men are good, men are wonderful. I said, because that's her reality. She has been through experiences and she has seen men that are wonderful. And unfortunately, these two people come from different backgrounds and these two people have different realities. And those realities has changed their perspective in life. I said, however, for both of them, this is real. It's real for them. Now, I started engaging this lady who said, man, I said, what happened? And she started telling me. And I said, I really understand why you have your perception. Now, also what I was showing her in this engagement was that your traumas, your experiences with men has shaped your perspective about men. And this is going to affect your decision concerning men, is going to affect your decision concerning your relationships, is going to, you know, affect everything concerning that includes a man. And she really understood. I said, now, if you ever want to build a relationship with a man, you first have to heal. Or otherwise, what's going to happen is that you're going to find a man. And when you still hold this perception, you're going to be in conflict when you're supposed to build love and you're supposed to build relationship. You're going to be in conflict with this person. I said, however, this doesn't take away that you've been through painful experiences with men. So you see, our past experiences, they can cause great trauma, which shapes our perspective in life. And I want to ask you a question. How do you think your pain has shaped your perspective today? How do you think your pain has shaped your perspective today as an individual? Do you hold a perception today that makes you see things blurry, that makes you dislike people, that makes you dislike yourself, that makes you hate life? What is your perspective about yourself and about life? And what shaped that perspective? Is it your traumas or is it your vision about your life? So you see what traumas can do. I mean, before this session, we were also talking about grief, losing a person and going into grieving. Ladies and gentlemen, losing a person can become an extremely horrific event. It's bad. I don't know how to explain it. It's really bad. And it can also cause trauma. Let me tell you, I remember this other time, uh, I had this wonderful brother, grew up with this great guy, doing everything together, church and everything, we were just so close. And, he was shot, you know, and I remember I was on campus and my mother sent me a message to say, hey, um, it's an unfortunate that I have to let you know that your brother has been shot. And, I remember I was sitting on campus in the class and it's like everything just became dark. I was in disbelief. I could not comprehend it. Like my mind just said, no, no, no. It refused to accept the situation. And I just took my stuff and jumped out of the class, got into a car, drove straight home, and I looked and said, what are you talking about? And I could see it in her eyes, in my father's eyes, in my other brother's eyes that, oh my goodness, this is a reality. This is a very, very unpleasant reality that I'm experiencing right now. I, I just didn't know what to do. But let me tell you, it was one of the worst times in my life. One of the worst. To a point, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. To a point, I refuse to accept that reality that we've lost this guy. To a point where I started developing chronic migraines. I literally had to go into almost 1 year treatment for chronic migraines because I could not accept that now I must live my life without this guy. It didn't make any sense. So you see, and this is the life that these are some of the things that we experience in our lives. But I had to make a decision to say, I'm not going to allow this trauma to define who I am. Yes, I've lost this wonderful guy. Yes, we've lost this great brother. But now I'm not going to allow this pain to define the rest of my life. The best thing I did is move my focus to saying I've lost this person and focus on saying I'm grateful for the time that I've had with him. And I started reflecting on all the good memories we've had together. And instead of crying about the pain, I started laughing to say, well, we actually had some great time together. Ladies and gentlemen, I started healing. I started healing because I started appreciating all the times I've spent with him instead of focusing on the loss. And, maybe this might be dealing with the level of grief only to say, I don't know what type of loss you've experienced in your life. Whether it could be an opportunity, I don't know. Whether it could be a person, I don't know what you've lost. But instead of focusing on the loss, maybe it's time to focus on being grateful, having gratitude to say, you know what, I'm still alive and I still have the opportunity today to make something out of my life. And once you start to learn how to be a grateful individual, to fill your heart with gratitude, you are going to heal. Of course, now I'll share some of um, techniques to help you heal from traumatic experiences. But, as I'm building my case towards that, I'm saying it's about learning how to be, to fill our hearts with gratitude. You don't have to be perfect. Your past doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out today. I understand. Maybe you have lots of questions to say, why me? Why does my life look like this? I mean, looking at everybody else, it seems like everything is working out. But let me tell you something. Learn how to be grateful. That's where it all starts. You've been hurt in the past. I'm sorry. But I'm so grateful that you have the time to heal. I'm so grateful that you still have the chance to redefine your life. Maybe you've experienced, like that lady that I spoke about, that she has experienced men in a negative way, and her perception was that men are just bad people. I told her, I'm sorry. But I said, it's time to be grateful because you still have the opportunity to experience men that are really wonderful. But you can't get into that journey until you open up your heart and allow yourself to say, maybe it's time for me to have a new experience. Now, it's your decision to say, are you going to allow your pains, your grief, your losses, those bad events to define you as an individual? Or are you going to say, you know what? Yes, I've been through this, but that doesn't mean I have to dwell in it. Yes, it's painful. It's really painful, but I can still move forward. I can still move forward. Okay, let me take let me take uh, a 30 seconds break because I feel like I've been too deep in this, and I feel like I've been too honest and also being opening up to you about this. But in taking this break, I just want you to reflect, really, to say, how do you think today those bad memories in your subconscious mind that are caused by unpleasant, events are currently shaping your perspective in life? When you come from, maybe let's say, an abusive environment, that's really unpleasant. It's an unpleasant, past, and that can become a bad memory in your subconscious mind to say, I'm not a worthy person. Maybe that's why I've been treated that way. Um, I will never achieve anything. Maybe I deserved it because look at me today. You know, you see how all of these things can shape even how you view yourself as an individual. That you can devalue yourself as an individual because of what you've been through. And I see this happen to so many people. Because of the pain that you've experienced as an individual, it's possible that you can devalue yourself, devalue other people, and you can also devalue life. But there's the other side of this entire thing. Yes, there's beauty, there's wonders in this life, but we can't see this beauty, we can't see this beautiful side of life if you are dwelling in the pain. And believe me, you are not talking from someone who had all this life wonderful, everything was so wonderful. Believe me, you're talking to someone who really has seen crazy stuff. People, believe me, I've lost people. I've lost best friends, through crime. They've been shot as well. My brother, I've had so many, 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 many losses. It's not even a joke. But I'm telling you, I had to make a decision to say I'm not going to allow my losses. I'm not going to allow my pains to define the person that I am. And I just want you to reflect. Have you been devaluing yourself? Have you been devaluing other people? Have you been devaluing life because of what you've been through? And I want to ask you a question again because I've asked it in the beginning. What is it that you need to heal from? Just take that few seconds and think. What is it that you believe that you need to heal from? Do you need healing in your life? Hmm. Can we be honest? I think I've been honest enough. And maybe even I, being the one who's given this content and training, maybe I need your support. And I'll be the first one right there to raise my hand to say, I still need healing in some areas of my life. And I want to say, with the show of hands, I see already there are people showing who needs healing. Let people see that, as I always, they are not alone. That I need to heal in some areas in my life so that I can start moving forward. Can you show with your hands? Thank you so much. I really appreciate those hands because what you're doing is that you are giving other people the confidence to say, you know what, I'm not alone. I can also get into a journey of healing. I'm not alone who's going through pain. I can go also through in a journey of healing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you see that? Do you see that? You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. All right. Now, let us start. Please try to take some notes in terms of what I'm going to share right now about different, techniques that will help you heal as an individual. Please do share, take notes, and also I will say, share with your loved ones. All right. I always say, do not take all this wonderful content for yourself and forget your loved ones and forget your close friends. Whoever your friends are, your loved ones are, take the time also to have these wonderful conversations with them so that you can assist them. Now, the first one is this. How do we get into a place of healing? How do we get there? Right? The first one is we need to accept that we need healing. That's the first step. You need to accept that as an individual, as a person, you've been hurt in the past. There are things that are negatively, there are memories that are negatively affecting you today, right? Those memories that are caused by unpleasant, events. Those are what we call your traumas. You've got traumas, and they are shaping your life. They are shaping your decisions. They are affecting your emotions, your behaviors. How you deal with life, right? So number one is that you need to accept that you've been through pain, and you need to accept that you need healing. Now, when you accept something, it's basically to say, yes, I need to confront this pain. That's all. In this case, it's all about that. It's about saying, yes, I've been through pain, and I need to confront my pain and no longer avoid my pain. Right? It's time to confront your pain. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for you to confront your pain. You've been hiding and avoiding that grief. You've been hiding and avoiding those losses. And you said, you know what? I'm just going to move on like they don't matter. Don't do that to yourself. Very, very dangerous. Don't do that. It's time for you to say, I'm going to confront my pain. So yes, I accept in these areas of my life, I've been defeated or I've been wronged or I've experienced unpleasant situations that have hurt me as an individual. And it's time for me to confront it. That's number one, accepting it and confronting your pain. Number two, very, very crucial, is what we started with. Identify the areas in your life where you need healing. So you need to identify those areas in your life where you need healing, right? As I said, you cannot heal from something you can't identify. So you need to be honest in this process to say, I need healing here. Let me make an example. Maybe you had a relationship and you are dropped. In this relationship, you are dropped. And it was not a nice experience. And now you are afraid of going into relationships because of your past relationship. So what you need healing from is the hurt of this relationship that you've been through. So you need to heal. So I don't know. You're the one who knows what you need to heal from. Maybe some of you need to heal from verbal abuse. Growing up, all you've heard is that you will never amount to anything. You are you are terrible. You are nothing. You have no value, and you need to heal from that, right? I don't know personally what is it that you need to heal from, but you have the responsibility now to say, okay, I need to heal from this. I need to heal from that. So identify all the areas in your life where you need to heal. Because the moment you start into a healing journey in those areas, you start to see progress. Whatever you don't heal from, you'll never see progress in that area. So heal. Let me make another example. Let's say you don't heal from that past experience, right? Of going into or coming from a bad relationship. And you suddenly go into a new relationship without healing from the hurt of the past relationship. What you're going to do is you're going to bleed in this new relationship. You're going to express all the hurt in this new relationship. And now you're going to mess up your new relationship because you've never dealt with the pain of your past relationship. And let me tell you, you're going to lose this new relationship, right? Because you've never healed. So you can't just move on. It's important to heal. And I've seen people jumping from one relationship to another without taking the time to heal. And then it causes so many failed relationships. And then they start to think something is wrong with them. Um, and the problem is that no, you are hurt and you've never dealt with the hurt, right? So I don't know. You're the one who can identify where you need to heal, right? So you first accept, and then now you identify areas in your life where you need to heal. Number three is this: give yourself time. Be patient. Don't expect yourself to heal tomorrow. It's a journey. So you need just to focus on the progress, on getting better and better every day, right? So don't just focus on the outcome to say, I just want to heal and look like this, right? But also focus on the progress to say, every single day I'm getting better. I feel better. I'm starting to have a better perception about life. I'm starting to see life in a more positive way. So please give yourself time. Be patient with yourself. And I always emphasize this: in your losses, in your mistakes, In everything that has happened, give yourself time. Don't say everything must change tomorrow. No, you'll hurt yourself. When you are injured, you need time. You need to take time. Your recovery will not happen overnight. Give yourself time. All right. That is very, very important. Number four, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself for everything that you've been through. Do you know how many people blame themselves because of the things they could not control, their past? Do you know how many people blame themselves because of the bad experiences that has happened in their lives? Please learn how to forgive yourself. And I always say this, that the world is not, it's not a lovely place where you'll always find mercy. The world is unforgiving. The best thing you can do for yourself is to be kind to yourself and forgive yourself. Maybe you've made terrible mistakes and you feel like when you think about these mistakes, it's just a traumatic experience. Like these memories, when you reflect on what you've done, maybe it makes you so angry. It makes you so mad that how can I make such bad mistakes? Why did I do this? Forgive yourself. Accept that you are only human and you make mistakes as well. Now let's go to the hard one. The hardest one. Forgive other people. Whew, this one is so hard for many people. People that have caused all these traumas for you. People that maybe you grew up and your parents were not so nice to you. They always said negative things to you. Forgive them. Forgive the people that have hurt you. Because forgiveness is not about them. Forgiveness, it's about you. When you don't forgive, you carry the weight, you carry the bitterness while other people move on with their lives. And I know it's not fair that people can hurt you and move on, not even apologize. Just move on like nothing happened. And here you are, you have to deal with the pain. I know it's not right. But carrying the bitterness and the weight doesn't help you either. It weighs you down more and more and more. When you forgive, you are saying, I'm not going to allow this anger, this bitterness to control my life anymore. I'm not going to allow that incident to control my life anymore. Yes, I might reflect on this memory on a daily basis and still feel the pain, but I'm not going to allow it to take control over my life. And the best way to do that is to forgive others. And let me tell you, you are capable of forgiving. I once heard someone say, I'm incapable of forgiving. I can't forgive. I said, what you are saying is that you are incapable of healing. I said, the point is that you are not willing to heal. Because healing is also a very difficult journey. Because you need to be brutally honest. You need to let go of certain things. It's an uncomfortable journey, but it's very crucial. So don't only forgive yourself, but forgive other people. Who do you need to forgive? Come on, let's be honest. Who do you need to forgive? Can you forgive them? And remember, when you forgive someone, I'm not saying to you, go and give them access again in your life so that they can repeat the same things over you and hurt you again. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that forgive them, right? You can still forgive someone and still say, you know what, I don't want you in my space. I don't trust you with my space. You've done things to me that have hurt me, and I'm uncomfortable with you in my space. So I forgive you, but we still keep the distance. It's okay to do that. Believe me, it's okay to do that. So forgive yourself, forgive other people as well. I hope that is very clear. And remember what I said. So forgiving, it's about making sure that you do not carry the burden, the weight, and all the pain. Is to let go of that pain. All right. Now the other part is this: talk about those events. Very, very important. Those events that were unpleasant in your life, that has caused you to have bad memories. Can you please talk about them? You can talk about them with a professional. You can talk about them with a loved one that you can trust. Do not talk with just anybody. You need to talk to a person that you're comfortable with and this person you can trust. But talk about your pains. Talk about your pains. The more you talk about your pain, you're going to start to develop a fresh perspective about the pain, right? You're going to start healing because now you are not avoiding the problem. Talk about it. Talk about your pain. In a support group, people that have experienced the same pain. Talk about it. Talk about it. All right. The other one is this. When you are in a journey of healing and you know that you have negative thoughts because of all the bad memories, avoid spending a lot of time alone. If if you're an individual where every time you get into a room, you are alone and all you think about is all the negative stuff, all the bad things, and it's very difficult for you to process positive thoughts, I will advise you to avoid spending a lot of time alone. Rather be in an environment of people that support you, people that love you, and people that really want to see you improve, right? Until you learn how to process positive thoughts, and then you can start, spending time alone, right? Now, the other part is don't be afraid to ask for support. If you feel that you need support, talk to your loved ones to say, I need support. I'm not over this thing. I still need to go to deal with this thing. I'm not over this thing, right? Which is something important. And the other one, which is very, very crucial, is this. Learn how to get back to your routine. Let me make this very clear. You don't get hurt, avoid the pain by getting back into your routine. That's not what I'm talking about. I said, here you are, you got hurt, now you give yourself time to heal. Now you intentionally get into a journey of healing. Now, once you are intentional about getting into a journey of healing, then you can start focusing on getting back to your routine. You develop a routine, right, in your life that will help you progress. That will help you progress emotionally. That will help you progress whatever in your academics, in your career. Now you go back to your routine. You start develop. And I've seen many people don't have a routine. I understand we are different individuals. We have different ways in which we set up our lives. But at least have certain things that you do that are consistent. So, for example, you wake up in the morning and you watch self-help videos. You take a jog, you work out, you listen to very encouraging and motivating videos or music. You do positive things. So in your routine, put in things that will help you progress, right? And ensure that you're consistent in doing these things. And then you will see yourself start to progress. And the last part is measure your progress. Ensure that you are healing. So meaning always reflect on your emotions, always reflect on your thoughts, always reflect on your pain, always reflect on your perspective to say, okay, today, how is this affecting me? Okay, yesterday, I was still really angry about this, but how do I feel today about this? Do I still want to be angry about this, or what am I going to do about this today? So the only thing that I'm trying to do is help you to be so intentional about everything that is in your subconscious mind, about all the bad memories that are in your subconscious mind. And what you do is, instead of allowing those bad memories, your traumas, to control your life, you take control over your traumas and you start to heal, right? So you take a position to say, well, I've been hurt, but I'm not going to allow you, the pain, the hurt, to control my life. And how am I going to do that? By healing, by going into a journey of healing and developing a system in my life, a routine in my life that will help me go forward and progress. So in this, this content of traumas, it's a lot of work. It takes sometimes a month of training, but today this is how far and I can go with you. So I hope, although it was a brutally honest session, I hope you got very important information that will help you, and I hope you will go and just start to heal and start to face your pain and not avoid your pain. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask the questions, but thank you very much for listening. So I'll hand over to the team. If there are any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you.
Um, Thank you so much, Neil, for such an insightful session. We really do appreciate that. We don't have any questions in the chat box yet. However, I have a question of my own. You know the saying that hurt people hurt people. How do you navigate yourself with the person who is hurt and you're not?
All right. When someone is hurt, sometimes that what they are trying to do is, as I said, they're trying to hide their pain, right? And because you are not hurt, so they will try to spend maybe more time with you because maybe you are positive. Or some people don't know that they are hurt, but as a friend, you can see that. The most important thing that you can do for them is make them aware to say, hey, I've seen you, I've seen that you've been doing this and this and this and this. And I think maybe it's because you are hurt of this and this and this. So talk to them, make them aware, right? I think it will be uncomfortable for them and for you too, but they will appreciate it because some people don't know. So when someone is hurt because you love them, don't run away from them. I won't say please run, avoid them, leave them. No, no, no. Rather, I will say support them. Make them aware that, hey friend, hey mom, hey dad, maybe this might be uncomfortable for you, but just wanted to make you aware that I've been seeing this type of behavior, and I think maybe it's because you've been hurt or something. But I want you to know that I'm here to support you. You can't change a person, but you can be there, right? You can say, I want you to know that I'm here. However, to avoid being hurt or being taken advantage of, you can also set boundaries, right? To say, okay, these are my boundaries. I'm not going to allow a person that is hurt to come and hurt me too, right? So someone who's experienced, verbal abuse to come and abuse you verbally as well. You say, no, 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 no. Listen, I know you've been hurt in the past. Bad things were said against you. I want you to know that I'm not your enemy. I'm your friend, right? And there's no reason for you to say all these bad things to me. I'm your friend. I'm here to support you. If you want to talk, I'm here, right? But please refrain from saying these things. So you set boundaries while you support. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
It does make a lot of sense, Neil. Thank you so much for that. We also have one question from Hester. After being hurt and being angry and then forgiving, how do you move on and how do you switch? How do one switch this danger alarm off?
Okay. I need you to remember something when it comes to the brain. Um, when you've been hurt, your brain will keep that. It will store that. And what's going to happen is, here you are, maybe you forgive the person that has hurt you. Say, you know what, I forgive you for causing this pain and this harm to me, right? That is the first step. However, your brain will always sound the alarm when there's something similar that maybe comes your way to say, hey, check this out. It might be that other thing again, right? And then you might go through the bad experience again, the pain again, So the only way you can set that alarm off is opening yourself up to new experiences. So let's say somebody has hurt you through a relationship, and here you are, you forgive them. The best way to move forward and to get your brain to be comfortable is to heal and then open yourself to a new relationship. And the experiences that you might get in a new relationship or whatever experience will slowly and gradually take away the alarm. It will take it off. It will cut it off. And let me tell you, man, life is tricky sometimes because you might open yourself to a relationship, looks the same way, bad, 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 bad. But I promise you, at some point in your life, you will have that which works. All I'm saying is that please ensure that you are not the one who's making this thing not work. You hear what I mean? But open yourself up for new experiences because your brain learns through experiences. So open yourself up to new experiences and consistently expose yourself to new experiences. And gradually, slowly, your brain will start to develop positive and capture positive memories over the negative ones. And once you start to do that, the positive memories will overpower the negative memories. All right. So open yourself up to new experiences that are mostly similar to what to the past, but these ones are more positive. Bad relationship. Now you open yourself up to a new positive relationship. All right. So yeah, open yourself to new experiences. That's how the brain learns.
Thank you so much, Neil, for that. I think I'm just gonna read out the last two questions and then we can wrap it up. We have a question from Sarah. Thank you so much for your honesty and vulnerability. What's your take on storing trauma in the body, not just in the mind? And then we also have another one from Liabona. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. What do you do when you address someone who has hurt you and they downplay and disregard your feelings by making it seem like as if you're dramatic?
All right. Let's go to the first one, which it comes to the traumas in the body. Remember this. Mind traumas or mind wounds can cause negative, body experiences. So in terms of your body and what happens with your body, if there are experiences that have maybe that are unpleasant that have happened to you, and maybe they are causing shock, they are causing unease with your body. What I'll say is that for that one, hey, go see a physician. Go and see someone that will help you. Because the body responds, sometimes it responds differently to how the brain responds, but the body responds to the brain, right? The body responds to the brain. How remember, your body cannot do anything on its own. It's because of the brain, right? So if the brain says, hey, danger, your body will respond. However, I still say, go see a physician, go see someone who will help you in terms of body recovery. Even if, listen to this, even if maybe, um, let's say you are hurt by an event, a mental event, and it caused uh, also a body shock. Maybe let's say minor stroke. Guys, it's very crucial. Go see a physician, right? Because we do different things, right? Go see them. Let them help you with those areas, and that's what we do. People that experience stroke because of maybe stress in their lives, I will help them with stress, but I will have also a team of physicians that will help them with body recovery. So for body trauma, go see people for that. It's crucial. Remember that. And then for people that act like you are dramatic when you tell them how you feel, basically those are the kind of people that you say, you know what? I love you, but I will no longer tell you how I feel, and I will no longer spend my time with you. I will no longer give you the privilege to be around me. Very important. Um, Minimize your engagements with those people because they are very, very dangerous. Any person that cannot accept how you feel, take the time to understand how you feel, and they make as if you are dramatic. First of all, it means they are not emotionally intelligent, and then they are not willing to understand you. And the only thing you can do is, if someone is not willing to understand you, then stop engaging with them about how you feel. It's unfortunate that we have to cut off some people, but it has to be done. It has to be done. Yes.
Thank you so much, Neil. There's just one last question. I just feel bad leaving it out because I feel like the person pulled their heart out. It's Nuhan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. How does one move past the need to hold on to the hurt caused by being in an abusive relationship? It seems that holding on to the hurt is easier than letting go of it. Also, what happens when the trauma you've experienced caused you to develop a defense mechanism that has turned you into the person inflicting trauma? In a sense, you have to now become the monster that has traumatized you in the past.
Hmm. Hmm. You see, this is exactly what I was talking about. To say, if you don't heal from that experience, what happens is automatically your brain will develop a defense, right? And once it develops a defense, it can also shape you to become someone that you are not. So I hear you that you say it's easier to hold on to the pain than to let go. It might be easier. However, we need to look at the outcomes though, to say, what are the outcomes of holding on to the pain? And what are the outcomes of letting go of the pain? Now, you already explained what are the consequences of holding on to the pain. Your brain forms a defense, and then you yourself now, it makes you become a monster. Now, if you don't like that outcome, it channels you and it challenges you to say, I need to experience a new outcome, the outcome of letting go. Now that you know how it looks like not to let go, it challenges you to say, I'm letting go. It's not going to be easy though, but it's necessary for your progress. Because now think about it. How are you going to build a good relationship going forward if you are not letting go and that pain is causing you to be a monster? You're going to become a monster to the person that might be loving towards you, might be caring to you. So it's hard, yes, to let go of the pain, but it's necessary. Let it go. Don't hold on to it. Let it go, please. Please. Listen to me. I beg you, let it go. As much as it's not easy, the outcome, though, the consequences of letting go are far greater than the consequences of holding on. I hope that was encouraging for you.
It was definitely. Thank you so much, Neil, for such an insightful session. We really do appreciate that. We don't take that for granted. Just having a little bit of time to vent, it's all needed. And now we know how to navigate towards people who are hurting because, yeah, most of us, we tend to retaliate and run away at the end because hurt people do hurt people. But thank you so much for that. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our webinar. Thank you so much once again for attending. Please just take note that the session is recorded. You can access it in 2 to 3 weeks on GK Academy. And yeah, please do fill in the Mentimeter survey also. So from Neo and the Golden Key team, it's bye for now till we meet again. Please do enjoy the rest of your day and heal. Healing is too needed.